Mayor Bloomberg, have you met, do you know Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney's choice for VP, and what do you think of him?
I met him once about maybe 9 months ago or a year ago. He had come up with a plan for the economy. I was asked about it, and I said what I read, I didn't particularly agree with it, but at least he had a plan. And at that point, he was in the race, or considered as one of those people in the race to get the Republican nomination for president. And I said he was the only one with a real concrete plan that made some sense, even if I didn't agree with it. Somehow or other, he heard I'd said that, and our staff's connected. He stopped into City Hall. I had a long talk with him. He's certainly very smart. He's very conservative. There are some of the things in his plan that I think make sense. As a matter of fact, he and Obama are basically right in sync on Medicaid and Medicare, particularly Medicare. Everybody understands, at least both they do, that this cannot continue. We just are going to run out of money. We have to decide how to reduce expenses. There is some possibility, and Obama talks about it, of making it more efficient. But at some point, if you keep cutting payments to doctors, nobody's going to be a doctor. And if you keep giving coverage to people, we don't have enough doctors. There's not enough aid for people to go to school and become doctors. A lot of this stuff just doesn't fit together. And the same thing can be said for Paul Ryan's plan. Some of his stuff, just in a practical sense, doesn't make any sense. But at least
Mayor Bloomberg, when you say that, is there anything in particular that you're thinking of?
Well, you got to go through his plan. But yeah, I think from a political point of view, you can only cut back these mandates, these programs that give people benefits over a long period of time. Maybe you should do it overnight. You can make that case, but it's not going to happen overnight. We did a long time ago raise the age on Social Security by a year or two to come into effect a dozen years later. And in fact, it did come into effect, and nobody rolled it back, and it was relatively painless. But if we don't do things like increasing the age at which you qualify for Social Security, you qualify for Medicare, or co-pays on Medicare and Medicaid so that people think twice and only do things that are necessary, we're just not going to be able to afford it. And this has nothing to do with being liberal or conservative. It has nothing to do with believing whether people should or should not get stuff. President Obama said exactly the same thing. And he gave a speech a number of times talking about the fact that we cannot continue to spend money we don't have. The question is now, in a campaign, is it just a soundbite blaming the other guy? Oh, he wants to cut it and I don't. That's not fair. They both have basically the same plan.